Hi everyone, it's Fat Donnie, and today is Thursday, March 14th, 2019, and I'm coming back with another update on my weight loss journey. Today, I had an appointment with the psychologist. So, the program that I'm going through at Wellstar Bariatric Center, they require that you have two visits with a psychologist, the initial screening and assessment, and then a follow up visit with some instructions and information. So, this first visit was 3 hours long, and I actually met with two people. I met with a psych, psychot, I don't even know her title, but basically she was the person administering all these tests. And then I met with the second person who was the psychologist that actually asked me certain questions and typed it up in the computer, and we chatted back and forth. So um, the lady who administered the test, um, she she kind of had a cold personality and not warming at all, especially for what she had to do. I guess that's how she has to be. She has to just have a um, cold personality. But she did warn me ahead of time that a lot of people don't like this process because it's um, a lot of mundane test questions that's very similar to like the Myers-Briggs test. You know, it gives you a situation and you have to state whether you are nothing like it, somewhat like it, moderately like it, very much like it, or extremely like it, or whatever the ratings were. And I tend to do a lot of, I don't do a lot of the extremes. There are some things that are extremes, like extreme ratings, like stuff referencing drug use. I mean, I don't use drugs. So I said it's nothing like me because I don't use drugs. I don't even drink alcohol. So whenever they had questions related to how your behavior changes when you drink alcohol, I said it's nothing like me because I don't drink alcohol. Um, but most of the time, I'm not on the extreme levels when I grade myself or, um, judge myself with those situational questions. So, um, I sometimes you have to read the question twice because you know how they are. They ask you a question and then 20 questions later they'll ask you the same question but in a different way, and you think it's the same question. And if you answer it the same way you did the first time, you might contradict yourself because they changed the wording. So I had to be careful with those questions. But she gave me, I'm gonna say, a litany or battery of tests. There were so many tests. So that that part of the testing was 354 questions on a computer, and I would read it and click my answer. And that was one of several that was similar to that. Some were on paper where I had maybe 30 questions similar to those, and I answered those. Then, after those types of questions, she administered some other tests, which I thought she was trying to measure my IQ, but she said they're really cognitive tests. And she would do something like, um, I'm going to say a series of numbers to you, and I want you to repeat them back to me. So the first time it was like 157, and I said 157. And then sometimes she'd give me three or four different numbers to say, and then I repeated them right back to her. Then she said, okay, now I want you to repeat the numbers backwards. So she said 157, I had to say 751. Um, so we did that, but it got a little harder when she said something like 1, 5, 7, 3, 8, 9. I'm trying to remember the order, and it had to be in order. So I had to say it backwards and in order and remember all the numbers. So I did pretty well. I think I probably missed one or two. Like I knew I was off. I'd said something and I was like, oh, I forgot. I'm like, I forgot what that was because you gave me like 20 numbers. But so I did that. One test with the numbers, she would throw out the numbers, and then I had to repeat them back and put them in order. So if she said 5239, I'd have to do 2359, put them in order. And then sometimes she would double up a number. So she might say 52359. So she said five twice. And I had to repeat back every number and put them in order. So then I had to say 23559. I guess I got that right. My daughter said that she would not have repeated the five. She just would have said five once. And I told her, no, you had to repeat every number back and put it in order. So that was another test. And then she gave me a test. Probably the easiest test of them all was she gave me a letter, and then I had to say as many words starting with that letter as possible, but I couldn't say a proper name, a place, or a number. So if it was a S, I had to say sugar, sandwich, sweet, salary, smooth, sick, as many words as I could say in 60 seconds. I think she gave me 60 seconds to say it, but I couldn't say six. I couldn't say Steve. I couldn't say San Francisco because those are places, names, and numbers. So you had to remember that. And plus, she didn't want you to repeat anything. So I had to do that. Then I had a letter. No, not a letter, but she would say, name as many kinds of fruits as possible. And so I did that. Apple, orange, grape, kiwi. I just named as many fruits as possible. And then I had to name a fruit and then a piece of furniture and then a piece of fruit and then a piece of furniture. And I had to go back and forth with that. So I said, okay, apple, chair, orange, couch, grape, table. And I'm trying to envision my house so I can think of all the different types of pieces of furniture I had. And then I'm trying to envision my refrigerator for all the different types of fruit that I have, and in the grocery store for all the different types of fruit they have. So like the melons, I was like watermelon, and I said cantaloupe and honeydew. I just ran a list of the melons, and so when you put on the spot and trying to think, it was a little hard. Not hard, but I still had time on the clock, and I ran out of stuff to say. One of the tests I had to name as many male names as possible in 60 seconds. And so I started thinking about my cousins. I got like 11 or so male cousins, and my father, my brother, and uncles and grandfather, and, boyfriends, past boyfriends. So then I just ran down the list. And then I went back after I said my cousins' names. I went back and said their middle names, trying to remember everybody's middle names and so that I could say as many male names as possible. And so I got through that test. So I had tests like that, the numbers, the names, the words, how I've rated myself. And then one of the final tests was looking at, there were two more types of tests. One was looking at, on a piece of paper, the word red, blue, and green were written, and they were written in their colors, red, blue, and green. So I had to read that, red, blue, green, and they were in different sequence. So it's like red, blue, green, green, blue, red, green, green, blue, green, red, red. I had to read them as they were written on the paper with their colors. And then they kept changing up. So the word red was written in green, but I had to say green, not red. So you're reading the word red, but you can't say red. You have to say the color that it's in, and it was in the color green. So I had to read those out and in order. So of course you're looking at the word red, and even though it's green, you might slip up and say red, but you're supposed to say green. So I had to do that. So that one was crazy. And then one of the last tests was on a piece of paper. There was numbers from 1 to 15, and then there was the alphabet from A to whatever the 15th letter is for the alphabet, MNOP or whatever. So I had to connect the dots, connect the numbers and letters, but I had to go from 1 to A, 2 to B, 3 to C, and they weren't in order. So you had to find them on this paper that folded out. So, the one to A is over here, the two to B, the three is like way over there. And so you had to find it on the paper and draw a straight line between those letters and numbers and in order. And she timed it. And and so there was a lot of, that's just like an overview of some of the tests because there was a lot. I was there for 3 hours and I spent probably 2 hours doing tests. And most of the tests were done in like a minute, except the questions that I had to answer. And so I asked her again, was she testing my IQ? But she said, no, it's testing cognitive skills. But I do use similar tests for IQs. So I can't wait to get my results to see what my cognitive skills are like. So that was that part of the meeting appointment. And then I met with the psychologist who was an African American female. So we kind of connected. And it was interesting. She asked me, basic questions, my occupation, whether I had a hobby. When we talked about that, I said, currently I don't because I work too much. And I was telling her about all the jobs I have. I have like 4 jobs. I'm an accountant. So I have a day job and I do taxes and I'm tutoring on Saturday and consulting with another company. And so I'm just really busy working and I don't have time to pick up my hobbies that I used to have. But I told her that in my adult life, I had taken saxophone lessons and was getting into it and trying to, she was like, oh, do you perform with a band? I said, no, not right now, not then either. But I did perform at a private party. A friend had a private party at his home and had a live band. And I did, sit in with them on 2 songs, Because Your Girl Cut Below. And so that was like 20 years ago. And so I definitely want to pick up that saxophone again. And I'm anticipating that I'll be able to do so next year because this year I have 2 things I'm focusing on. Thing number 1 is to lose the weight. Thing number 2 is to finish my dissertation and graduate with my PhD in advanced accounting. So once those things are out of the way, more so the dissertation, then I can get back to my hobby of playing music. So, and then I also told her that, even if I could play now, and I wouldn't want to play in a band on a stage live in front of people because I'm too self-conscious about the excess weight that I have. So losing the weight is going to help me build my confidence and motivate me to get back in the groove of playing and then get back on a stage and play live. So we talked about stuff like that. One of the things she asked me was to explain what is RNY, the bypass surgery. How does this work? And so I told her that I'm vlogging and that I had just recently explained in my vlog the difference between the gastric sleeve and the RNY. And I told her, how I start off saying that our stomach is the size of our fist and that when you have gastric sleeve, I did this in my last video, but I'm summarize it again. When you have gastric sleeve, they basically cut this portion, the thumb of your stomach, and pull out the rest of the stomach and leave just the sleeve, the full size of the thumb. And when you have RNY, they're only going to cut the tip of the thumb, and the rest of the stomach stays intact. And then they redirect your lower intestine to the tip of that stomach, or what we call the pouch. And so as I explained to her my understanding of what RNY gastric bypass surgery was, she was impressed. And she said, you explained that very well. And she kind of jokingly said that I did it better than Dr. Jean Pierre, which I'm sure I don't. But that, she was jokingly but not jokingly saying that I did very well in explaining it, and that perhaps he should have me work with him when comes time to explain the different surgeries to people because I did it so well. But she also noted that the way I walked through that process of explaining it, she said she could see the teacher in me. So, of course, I'm getting my PhD in advanced accounting because I have, I think, about 20 years of experience in teaching college accounting. Back in the day, back in the 90s when I was teaching, I was in the classroom, the 90s and the early 2000s. And then somewhere around 2006 or so, I started teaching online. And I've recently taught in the classroom a few years ago. But I obviously, everything is online these days. So I enjoy teaching online. I don't have a class right now because, again, my plate is full and I'm trying to finish this dissertation. But I do enjoy teaching. I believe someone told me a long time ago that I had a teaching spirit. And so I think it's a gift. And that's part of the reason why I'm doing my vlogs, because I hope that, as I learn more about this process, I'm able to teach someone who is interested in the process, especially someone who looks like me. You don't have to look like me to learn from me, but I'm mostly concerned with helping to educate Black females, especially those who are over the age of 40 and interested in getting bypass surgery to get their health back. To let them know that if I can do it, you can do it. To let you know, if I can do it, you can do it, and to help encourage you. But again, I'm here to encourage anyone who's willing to listen to me and learn from me and share with me your own experiences, your own knowledge, and information as well. So that was my experience with the psychology appointment. And again, it wasn't what I expected. I thought I was going to go in there. I mean, she did ask me that one question about, my childhood. How was my childhood? And was I molested or hurt or anything like that? And I told her no. I had a great childhood, even though I was raised by a single parent. And she was a teenage mother when she had me and raised me alone. She worked hard and she gave me everything I needed and most of what I wanted, and so I never felt any shortness in life. I was well taken care of, and I enjoyed my childhood, and I was well protected, thank God, and I didn't have any traumas of that sort. So she was wondering, well, what's brought me to this point where I wanted to have the surgery. And I took her back to when I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism in my early 20s. I had always been skinny, and then all of a sudden I started gaining weight to the point where I thought I was actually pregnant. I was married at the time, so it was okay to be pregnant, but it's okay to be pregnant anytime when you're of age. But anyway, I thought I was pregnant, didn't want to be pregnant at the time, and never had a baby. Months and months went by, and my stomach just kept growing, but I was not pregnant. And so I was like, something is wrong with me because I'd never been chunky in the stomach like this, and started working out, but I wasn't losing weight. And I'm working out hard and I'm dieting, and I still wasn't losing weight, and finally was diagnosed with hypothyroidism. I got on the medication, but it still didn't help me lose the weight. It didn't even help me maintain my weight. I just continued to gain weight over the years. I didn't always work out hard or always diet, but I did my best when I could. I may have lost 5 pounds during some of those efforts, and then I gained 10 back, and then I keep gaining. And so I never had any success with losing weight except once. A few years ago, I actually lost 40 pounds by maybe over a 6 or 9 month period by really working out hard. I was walking a couple of miles a day, a couple of days a week, and I was going to the gym the days I didn't walk. And then I was also dieting, watching what I ate. And over 6 or 9 months, I lost about 40 pounds. And then my work schedule changed. I got a little stressed and I gained it all back. And so that's why I am here at this stage now, looking for additional resource, additional help to help me lose the weight, hopefully permanently. Get down to my ideal body weight, my ideal BMI of 25 or less. 25 is right at the end of being healthy before you become obese. So I want to get 25 or less on a BMI and then maintain it for life. So that's where I am. That's where I am in life, in my journey right now. Again, today is Thursday, and I went to the gym. This is my gym shirt, one of my gym shirts. And I went to the gym again today. So I went Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 3 days in a row so far. I didn't do any weights today at all to give myself a break on strength training. And like I said, yesterday I did light strength training. The day before I did my full routine for my strength training. Tomorrow I'm going to the gym, do my cardio, and then I'll do probably a full all out of my routine for my strength training. So I'm at it. I'm at it hard because I want to lose the 15 pounds before surgery, and then I want my surgery to be a success in terms of me losing the weight within 6 or 7 months after surgery, or however long it takes, but for me to see the results of the surgery. And I'm getting myself used to working out and eating well right now. Speaking of eating, today I had, because I had to go to this appointment at 9 a.m. and I'm usually just getting up at 9 a.m. because I don't work until 10 and I work from home. So got up a little earlier today than normal, didn't have breakfast, grabbed an apple, didn't even eat it till I left the place, which was around 1 o'clock. And then I was hungry and the apple wasn't enough, so I stopped and got lunch at Chick-fil-A, and I got a grilled Cobb salad. And I did get ranch dressing, which was pretty high in calories and fat. But it's okay because that was my first meal of the day. It was the middle of the day. And then for dinner, I made a piece, pan fried or pan grilled, however you want to say, a piece of salmon and some cauliflower. And that was my dinner. And I also had potato chips for a snack. So even with all of that, I'm still 500 calories under my 1600 calorie intake for the day because I ate, a little bit extra. The chips were not good, but I pretty much burned that off at the gym. On the elliptical for 30 minutes, I burned 341 calories. So I burnt off the chips for the most part. And then all that was left in my system was the salad, the salmon, and the cauliflower. So I ate healthy today. And I hope to eat healthy besides the chips. And I hope to continue to watch what I eat and eat healthy. Earlier this week, might have been yesterday, day before, I had some hot wings. And but I know that I won't have any more this week because I splurged and had that already this week. So that's how I'm monitoring myself. Again, I'm still pre-op, don't have a surgery date yet. I have a follow-up visit with the nutritionist next week and the exercise physiologist, and they can take my measurement to see not just my measurement, but my body measurement. They have this machine that will determine how much water is in my body, how much fat, how much muscle, and things of that sort. So we'll see if I have an improvement, and that's going to be Wednesday of next week, the 20th. So I'll make a video about my stats after that follow-up appointment so we can see, even though my scale is going down slowly, we can see if there's any other changes inside of my body with me drinking more water, eating more healthy, and working out. So, okay, that's it for now. I appreciate you listening to me, and I hope you learned something about the psychological appointment. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments or advice, please leave them for me in the comment section below. And be sure to like my video if you liked it. And don't not like it, dislike it if you disliked it. Don't do that. Just like it. I've seen people dislike people's testimony, and it's like, it's their testimony. If you don't like it, just move on. But anyway, hopefully you like mine, and subscribe if you haven't already done so you can follow up with me on my journey and see how I'm doing, check in on me, and give me some feedback. All right. So have a nice day.